Oh, fuck. Oops. It looks like I have not remembered my own workflow when it comes to actually starting these damn streams. But there we go. Welcome back to the Krown Crypto channel. It's a nice little Monday morning over here. It's a live stream action as well because, well, there's not really much else to do on a Memorial Day weekend. Anyways, with all of that said, I do want to get into the most important portion of this analysis right here, right now, which of course is checking in with our man, Mr. Crystal Jesus, Meditation Jesus, whatever the fuck you want to call him, and make America crypto again. I like it, man. Let me actually just make sure that everything is working properly over here. There we go. Okay, that's good. Just want to make sure that I can actually see the comments at the same time and get all my windows here properly assorted because we're abundant. We're abundant for today. And seeing as it is a Memorial Day, a nice little holiday, a very important one for us Americans out there in the world. Everyone else can go fuck themselves. But kidding. But of course, we're going to be having a sale. So it's not just a Monday, but it's also a sale day. And the code is, you have to guess the code. You have to guess the code. Without guessing the code, you'll never know. And if you can look at this video right here, then you should be able to figure it out. Abundance in all capitals. We'll get to that a little bit later. But there is plenty to discuss today, actually, as far as price action does go. Monday is a rather important day for Bitcoin, that is. And as the title does suggest, we're going to be talking about some Ethereum action as well, just because I do think that that's, is it the more interesting chart right now? It's a more relevant chart right now, to be fair. I do think that while we see this sort of initial reaction from an ETF, Ethereum is going to be the main sort of focus, just like Bitcoin was back when? I mean, what that was like January now? It feels like so long ago, but it really wasn't that long ago. I love this guy. He's just working on in the background. Look at that face. Look at that smile. Look at that smile. My favorite thing to imagine when I'm in the right mindset is that someone new stumbles onto my channel and is like, wow, this looks like it could be important, some Bitcoin price statistics. Wow, that sounds pretty cool. And then immediately they're just blasted with Crystal Bro. By the way, he's a fucking crystal shill as well. If you go to his website, you can buy all sorts of crystals, which is hilarious to me because the most hilarious thing about it is that like these things probably come in fucking boxes, with like serial numbers on them and shit. And but they're gonna remove the negative energy because, well, that's how things work. R.I.P. Joe Rogan. Why does everyone always say that? R.I.P. Joe Rogan. It's gonna be a very, very sad day when Joe Rogan does die. I absolutely love his podcast, man. But it sucks now that it's on Spotify. Just don't check in as much because, well, it's not as interesting to go over there, to be honest with you. But yeah, he's a crystal shill. He's a crystal shill. What's even more funny to me, what's even more funny than all of this is the community, everyone's reaction to it. When I read through the comments, it's like it seems to me like everyone's loving it. And if they don't love it, then I just ban them from commenting. That's the way to solve that issue. Spotify deal has ended. Okay, so that's why I've been seeing more of his stuff on YouTube again, which is good. Because YouTube is to me, I don't really stray too far from YouTube. I know that people have issues with YouTube. I know that people, for whatever reason, don't like YouTube. But at the end of the day, they have the best service, I do think, for this particular streaming type shit. This guy makes me feel so uncomfortable. What's uncomfortable about him, man? Look at that smile. There's nothing untrustworthy about that. I also loved the one yesterday too where he had fucking scissors. He had crystal infused scissors and he was cutting out the negativity. He plucks it, he reaches for it, okay, like this, and then he plucks it out and then he cuts it. And he's fucking super famous too. I mean, if you look at it over here, actually you can't see it because my face is in the way. He has 272,000 subscribers. I'm nearly positive that number went up like 10,000 in the last day or two. And this video itself has 64,000 views on it. It's amazing. It's amazing. But the best part of all of these damn videos is the comments. Oh my God, they're just fucking amazing, these comments. It is just incredible when you when you want to really explore human imagination and just humans. You have to read the comments. You have to read the comments. Thanks. You have no idea how much you've healed me. Love, all the way from Dubai. Thank you. And he responds, thank you so much for your generosity and support on this channel. I appreciate you. Very normal interaction on the interwebs. Oh my fucking god, man. I love when the animals visit the healing. Yes, yes, they are aware as well. That's universal confirmation of accepting the positive healings. Just fucking great, man. Just fucking great. I can't get enough of this guy. Oh, there. That's the move. That's the move. He's take it and get rid of it. There goes your negative energies. We've got it away with our master Michael healer here. Just great, man. Just fucking great. Superverse bull run price prediction. That sounds like the fucking retardio question. Superverse bull run price prediction. It's always difficult to do price predictions for those sort of things. Whenever people talk about that sort of thing, I don't think that you can actually even do it, to be honest with you. It just doesn't have enough price action history. And if you're trying to make correlations between something that does have more price action history like Bitcoin and something like that as well, which I actually do happen to know Elliot, and I know him quite well, and I know that he actually is working on that project very, very well. It's just too difficult to still project out super far into the future, just because at the end of the day, these are, relatively low liquidity type things, and it doesn't really take too much to move them a significant amount. So general rules that I'd say is that when you have an Ethereum based altcoin, which that one is, then you want to be looking at Ethereum as kind of like the major index. And as long as Ethereum's healthy, that one should do relatively well as well. And it'll probably gain more pound for pound percentage wise when the cycle is over compared to Ethereum, which isn't saying much. I mean, I think Ethereum, probably does a 2x from its all-time high, maybe a 3x, something like that. But I like that healer. I need him in my life. Yes, we all need some more healing in our life. What's up, Nimbo? Good morning to you, man. I feel the abundance flowing into me. That's my penis, sir. Oh, man. Training advice for someone that just came from knee ligament surgery, please. You're on the wrong channel, my man. I've been weightlifting for quite some time, but I'm not a physical therapist, and that sounds like a real issue, man. You should consult with Michael. He's your man. He can fix it. You have to pluck those negative energy, those ligaments, that bullshit, get it out of there, wipe it clean, and then apply the crystals. There's your problem solved, sir. The answer was sitting right in front of your face the whole fucking time, and you're just too lazy to see it. Keck says Tonus Kant. Great name there. Speaking of Keck, I do see that the fucking Balkan dwarf over here is actually... we can talk about that one later. It's actually having one of probably the better charts when it comes to altcoins. Actually, rather interesting. The first time I spoke about it was more or less as a joke, but it looks like the joke's on me, because if I would have bought it at that time, it looks like it's up nearly 5x, or sorry, not 5x, but 10x from that original video. And I'm snoring like a damn pig now. Elsa, where are you? I'm coming. I'm doing this. Oh, by the way, your eggs are probably done. You should turn it off. Shit. I swear you should dress up like him for Halloween. Just need to continue to grow the hair out, because he's got some pretty crazy locks going on there, man. Can you break down on Normie? Can you do some breakdown on Normie? Is that a coin now? What's up, Nikki Page? Good morning to you. Herp the Dirt Peasants. Herp the Dirt Peasants with a Matador MC. Good day indeed. Yeah, I mean, it's been a while. I'm just getting everything ready over here on my other screen and waiting for a few more people to kind of trickle in on here. I do see that we have 750 people on this live stream right now. 45 likes, which is that's a great ratio. It's a terrible ratio, but it's all good, man. Just want to make sure that I have all my screens over here set up. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I think we should be able to make this one flow quite well. If I'm just kind of speaking offhand here right now, while I am going to speak about certain statistics and whatnot in today's video, I do want to say, just looking at this current price action for Bitcoin, really would not be surprised at all to see Bitcoin come back down, maybe into the 67s today. But again, probably going to be a boring day. It is a holiday after all. What's up, Faraz? GM sir as well. Dubai getting hot as fuck. Perfect time to get to some Alabama hot pockets, sir. This is a family-friendly channel, and you're talking about Alabama. Do you know what an Alabama hot pocket is, sir? No. Elsa. If it's like blue waffles, I don't want to know. Do you know what blue waffles are, Faraz? I know that you do. Smash the like, or crystal won't help. That's right. In order for you to, oh my God, this guy had the biggest missed opportunity. In order for you to receive this technical healing for today, you must like the video and nod your head and say, I accept. I accept! I'm in it! What's wrong with it? Elsa's wearing her Air Force Ones. Elsa's become like a fucking a Jordan simp is what she is. All right, let me just polish off this coffee and then we'll get into the actual analysis of today. Probably getting a little bit too long in the tooth right now, but it's all good, man. Did I turn that on? Okay, yes, I did. Good. China versus Taiwan. That's a hard one. That's not a part of this stream. ASMR. Would you like some more ASMR? You can have some more ASMR. He's good. He's good. Look, Elsa was feeling pretty bad yesterday. Then she started watching him. Problem's gone. Can you say coincidence or not? It's not a coincidence. There are no coincidences in the universe. There is only healing and... What is this guy's name? Michael, yes, that's the name. Michael. Mina Huvaskin says road trip no more. What the fuck? What is this? What is this language here? Instructions unclear. More crystals in my bunghole. Yes, man. Just shove them up there, and you can heal yourself from the inside out. I'm pretty sure that's how doctors do it nowadays. All right, I just got a couple more sips here, and then we can get into the actual content of the day. Follow the Rock Messiah. I swear though, I looked at his channel yesterday and there was 261,000 subscribers. Today he has 272,000 subscribers. This guy is blowing up. It's working, like it's really working. He is abundant as fuck. This guy is abundant as all hell. I can't believe it, but can you argue with those results? I've been doing YouTube for over 6 years now. His results are better. His results are better. How long until this Ukrainian cleansing discontinues? I don't even know what the fuck that means, man. RVXA has some sort of shitcoin request. Karat. We'll get to that a little bit later. Need some financial abundance. We all need some financial abundances. I don't even want a number. I just want abundance. I just want abundance. He looks like you. I've been hearing that a lot. I mean, I guess kind of. I wish I could grow my hair that long. He has actually very, very nice hair, I will say. He's very, very powerful hair. Elsa pointed this out yesterday. Like, he must do his hair every morning. Obviously, that's not what's happening. He has some sort of abundance mantra to go along with that one. But it is what it is. President Joe Biden is here, and he says, national debt abundance with me. We do have a great abundance of national debt. Unfortunately, I think no matter what president is in the office, that national abundance gets even more abundant, sir. He's got some abundant hair. I know exactly what you mean. All right. Okay. I think we are just about ready now. And let's get into it over here. Monday pump day. As we're going to be going over in today's video, Monday statistics do favor certainly one side of this market, as well as Ethereum leading this market in the current segment. It does look like, with Ethereum getting an ETF, we got some abundance in the background. And as it is Monday, a Memorial Day holiday, happy Memorial Day to all of the celebrators out there in the world. And of course, because it is a holiday for us Americans, well, we're going to be having a sale as well with the code. As you can guess in the background, should already be able to guess this one. It's abundance. Abundance in all capitals. You get 20% off of any one of the programs and products that we do have in the store. And without further ado, we need to jump right into the actual statistics of the day, which I need to shut this damn guy off over here. And sorry, shouldn't be doing that in the morning. I mean, we need some more abundances with this. But starting off with some statistics, I do want to first and foremost highlight Monday as specifically the most likely to close positively day for Bitcoin, if we do measure specifically from the beginning of this year, 2024, till current date. And if you recall from, I believe it was last week's video and maybe the week before that as well, for the past 2 months, Mondays have actually been a reversal day, meaning that Bitcoin kind of printed the high for the week. So do we see Bitcoin do something relatively similar here as well? Maybe yes, maybe no. What I would say, however, is that last Monday, most importantly, did break that trend that began again when Bitcoin put in the all-time highs, or the current all-time highs, I should say, in mid-March, which was Monday marks the high, and then throughout the rest of the week, Bitcoin trades under that high on a closing basis. Bless you, sir. And so if we are going to see that relationship still kind of distorted, I suppose, we would expect that, well, Monday's a little bit less important, actually. It's probably not a reversal day. So we'll see. Anyways, what I am interested in right here is, of course, the percentage gain and the percentage loss on average for Mondays, again, since the start of 2024. And on the gaining side, we do see an average gain on those positive closing days, which have been over 71%, of almost 4%. And on the losing days, I would say it is significant in most markets, but for Bitcoin, this kind of just par for the course, about 2.32. So if we do take today's open, which we of course already have, if we were to see this one play out to the upside, a nearly 4% gain, again on average, that would put Bitcoin basically around the highs of this rally that we saw beginning last week, basically, as that would be, somewhere around $71,000. To the downside, however, if we were to shave off about 2.25, then we'd be looking somewhere closer to $67,000. If I am just saying my personal biases, looking at this chart right at the outset from Monday, I do think that Bitcoin's going to explore the downside of that range, more likely than the upside for today. Does Bitcoin end up closing to the downside? I don't know, but I do think that we'd see a wick somewhere down around there, actually just based off of that. Anyways, going onwards and forwards from there, I do want to get into the new weekly closures and opens for Bitcoin, the very specific numbers that need to be essentially maintained to continue to favor the Boo laws long term, not necessarily in the short term, but long term. And if we go over here for the weekly HPDR on CME, we can see that Bitcoin actually opens right at the median, right at the fucking median on the weekly here, which is 68,653 and 19 cents actually. So as long as Bitcoin is above there, I do still generally look for Bitcoin to make a move towards the very deep 70s or very low 80s in June, actually. If Bitcoin does start to close below there at the end of this week, then I would be expecting, a correction first, probably back down to 63 or 64,000 bucks. Based off of the other things that we've been looking at for the past week with statistical setups and whatnot, I am biased towards an upside resolution here. Probably sooner rather than later, but hey, that would be my new line in the sand that, if not met, would indicate, hey, we got at least a correction first before anything else, and you're probably looking at least back down to 64, maybe a little bit lower towards 61, somewhere in that pocket there, in a $3,000 range pocket. Moving on from there, I do want to get into the daily time frame for this particular chart as well, and we can see more or less the same, actually. Well, not necessarily more or less same, but not anything like super pertinent as of right now. To the upside, to the upside, major area of interest right around 71,000 bucks. To the downside, I'd still say the median, which is essentially was that the lows of last week? No, it was not, but that is the low of like the last couple days. So ultimately, probably a range bound day again on a holiday. We probably don't expect too much, and if I had to guess, I do think that Bitcoin is actually a little bit more likely to test the downside today, and likely bounce from there as well, and we get the real market opening up for tomorrow, Tuesday. Anyways, moving on from there, I do want to get into the weekly stochastic, as we do have a new pivot for this one, and it's also of relevance here because it is $69,000, which is a great number. But not only is it a great number, but it does correlate quite well with the weekly time frame. Whoops, not the 5-day, but the weekly time frame over here for the HPDR median. So as long, again, that is further confluence that number, that sort of area, basically right around 69,000 bucks, is a big balancing point for Bitcoin to keep the current momentum to the upside. If Bitcoin loses that by end of week on CME, well, then obviously we're very likely in for at least a short-term correction here first. But as long as Bitcoin's above, upside still more likely, but that is the pivot as of right now. Daily time frame, however, is more corrective here. So that is another reason why I do say in the short term, Bitcoin probably is a little bit more poised to test the downside. And the current pivot is 71,600, and even playing out a bit of a trend line regression here coming in from the last few highs. So very, very short term, I do expect Bitcoin to actually test somewhere down around, what was this, Friday's low? Friday or Thursday of last week's low, somewhere around there. And then if it is going to bounce, we'd be expecting to bounce somewhere right around there as well. Anyways, as the title does imply, we are going to be looking at Ethereum, because Ethereum does seem to be, in the driver's seat of this market as of right now. If we go over here to the Ethereum Bitcoin pairing, we spoke about this over the past, we've been speaking about this on a monthly basis. But in the past week or week and a half, we did identify that if you're looking for a low on Ethereum Bitcoin, this is it. this would be it. However, if it's not it, and you see this one trade back down below 5 million Satoshis, then you got big fucking problems. But for now, have to run with the assumption that this is it. This is the monthly time frame right here. It's a massive bullish engulfing dildo with just about 4.5 days left in the trading month to go. And I would be looking at this as a reversal. Very likely to trade back up somewhere around 6.5 million to 7 million Satoshis. So Ethereum likely to outpace Bitcoin. Makes sense from a narrative perspective as well, with Ethereum getting the ETF and being kind of like the new focus for now. Now, if we look at Ethereum versus the dollar, let me just bring it up right here. Also, certainly more strong than Bitcoin, as it is closing right now on monthly highs. Now, Bitcoin's not like super weak compared to that, but just another thing that does suggest that Ethereum is probably the one to watch. As long as Ethereum stays healthy, as long as Ethereum stays poised for more, it's a good idea to generally bet the same for Bitcoin and Ethereum-based altcoins, and probably just the general market in varying degrees of strength. But Ethereum will be the main beneficiary of that. Then it would spill on over to the Ethereum altcoins that are stronger, and then and then other players within this market. But as of right now, technically the monthly is not a bullish engulfing. It did not trade below the low of April. Yeah, that's a month before May. But this would be a very, 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 very strong close nonetheless. Anywhere above 37.50. I do look for this one to continue upwards and onwards into June, making new highs on this rally. Very, 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 very likely. Looking at the quarterly right here, again, with another month to go. Looks like fucking continuation, man. Looks like continuation. And then we'll even have a 6-month closure, not at the end of this month, but at the end of the next month. And again, closing anywhere around here, around those prior highs. It might take some time, yes, but ultimately that would be a very, very good sign that this one is going to bust on through and make new all-time highs, probably within that time frame, basically 6 months, I would say a year at most, which is probably not seeing anything super crazy right now, but just following up on these charts long term for the people who have been here. Anyways, I think that we've gone through all of that. Yes, we did see this setup fire off over here. I did forget yesterday to go over the failure condition for this one. This one will fail if you do see a move back down below 63,600. So what essentially is it suggesting? It's suggesting that there is a higher probability of an upside move from here. I believe it was about a 15% move. Let me just double check. Yes, about a 15% move from 69,000 bucks. That would be about 80-ish. Am I doing that mental math right? Yeah, about 80-ish, 79 to 80,000 bucks. There is a higher probability of Bitcoin making that move than the move down to 63,600. But yeah, until then, it's a bit of waiting game. Of course, this one can take its time, and this is actually a good point for me to let you know that again, you can get this service right here, which comes with the skeleton key external, which allows you, it gives you the possibilities to actually create your own strategies, back test your strategies, so that it just pops up right here instead of you doing it by hand. And then if you want, you can actually automate those as well. And of course, we do provide some sample strategies in the Discord as well, which you may or may not be interested in. But of course, just once again, it is on sale, as is everything else, with the code abundance in all capitals, which I am not even sure if I spelled it right, but I spelled it like this, so, but all capitals, so maybe like this. There we go. Abundance, and that's what we'll leave this one off. As always, want to wish you the best of the best. Our abundance manager over here has apparently left the building as well. And with that said, I'll see you in the next one. Take care. All right, nice one, sirs and zers. Okay, we got through that one. Could have flowed a little bit better there, but ultimately, if I'm looking at this right here, I mean, this does not seem like the Monday to me that's going to be the one. Where are the Mondays that failed here, though? That's the real question since 2024 began. I actually do want to see this really, really quickly. Let me see. I have a chart for this already. Want to find this one. Yeah, Monday high. Here we go. Monday high. You take it in many, many ways. And then we'll get to the comments right after this. But I actually really do want to see this from my own knowledge. Just to know like where those points were. Okay, were all these Mondays? No, these were Thursdays. So actually adjust this for 2024. These ones we already have, yes. So where was my negative Mondays? Okay, another positive Monday. All right, another positive big Monday right there. Negative Monday right there in February, mid-February. Another big positive Monday right there. And I'm guessing another big nope, not a big one, but definitely positive. And no. Okay, another Monday right there, another positive one. Okay, so the negative Mondays were very, very few here. Very, very few. Yeah, one right there. Coming off of the ETF dump. So Bitcoin made its lows on that one. Interesting. All right. I guess just some nerdy analysis for myself. But generally, Monday has been a big pump day since this year started. It does make sense with an ETF just because money managers are probably going to be allocating on Mondays. I mean, and people are front running that. So, I mean, even if, yeah, it does create a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy because people are going to look at big money managers and be like, okay, well, we know that they allocate on Monday, so let's front run them by, getting in position a little bit early and then sell it back to them, end of Monday, something like that. So it kind of makes sense actually, theoretically as well. Every time you make fun of him, his wealth doubles. That's right. He's rich as fuck. He's rich as fuck. I'm not even trying to make fun of him anymore. Anyways, let me get the comments ready over here. Elsa's got a few ready for me. Okay. All right. We're going to start off with RVXA. He's looking at Karat, fuck coin, on Coinbase. All right. Well, let's see. Okay. KuCoin or Coinbase. I'm going to guess actually that KuCoin probably has more history, which would be helpful. No, they're actually basically the same. It looks to me like a high right here, man. And you're waiting for the next sort of higher low. So I'd be looking for this one to, yeah, I'd be looking for this one to come down a bit here, and then where would be higher low watch? Let's take our nice little fibs and see where the areas of interest would be. 70 cents or 71 cents would be a good area first, and then you got 50% level at about 65 or 64. So those would be the two areas that I'm looking for. Generally, though, current run I do think is to the upside is coming to an end. You come down here, and if it is bullish, you expect a higher low somewhere right around there. But I mean, it basically just retested the prior all-time highs. Coming back down from an area like that's completely normal, completely fine. Just next move down, and obviously, if you are bullish, which I'm guessing you are, because you're on Coinbase, then you're probably looking for a higher low. You want a weekly time frame for this. There does not exist a fucking weekly time frame for a highly esteemed asset that has been around for literally less than a month. Alt Season says PZen on Pulse Chain. You don't know. Oh God, here we go. Here comes the crazies. Not on TradingView, sir. I of course understand. I understand where you're going with this. It's a great marketing attempt, but unfortunately, it's not on TradingView. And if it's not on TradingView, we can't look at it. And I guess I don't know. And that's a me problem, man. That's a me problem. It's all for you, my man. You can get all of the riches that you want. I'm just going to be here on the sidelines, and that is what it is, But more power to you. If I don't know, it's my loss is your gain. That's how you should look at it. Martin Hunt says, "Morning, sir. What's up, man? Cass on the daily and weekly. Okay, I remember this was like a darling shitcoin of the last cycle, was it? Damn. It's had a pretty fucking good run since, October 2022. So it was not really around during last cycle. And I have charted this one out before. Looks like kind of following the LARP lines right there. But let's see where we're at right now. Let's get a fresh look at this one. Doesn't really strike me as a strong chart in the more near term. While most of this market was making new all-time highs, this thing did not. It kind of just traded sideways. But overall, this is good long term. I mean, you do see higher term time frame, higher lows here, and I do believe that this is yet another higher low. And while the next overall move is very likely to the upside, probably retesting these highs at 17 cents and probably making new highs from there, I think that it can take some time. But there are a few things, good things going for it long term here. We got weekly stochastic momentum crossing back up to the upside as long as it's above about 12 cents, which it is by nearly 2-cent margin. And this is being done on very, very low volatility, which is creating a it's not like a massively higher low right here, but it is a higher low nonetheless. So this would be implied long term that we do see continuation. Looking at the monthly right here, same shit basically. Looking at the daily, I'd probably be looking for a little bit more of a range short term. Maybe it trades up to 15 cents first, but ultimately I'd be looking for this one to kind of trade sideways. In the short term, but weekly, monthly, higher term timeframes, they're very, very good actually. Long term, it's interesting to see that this one's not playing side by side with the rest of the market, despite being very strong in the years prior. This one recently has not really been a strong one. It's just been consolidating. You know, that would have been a really good chance for it to have made significantly new highs, and it did not, which I think is interesting. All right. Nishan Abraham says, every time you make fun of him, his wealth doubles. That's right. And my wealth doubles as well every time that you talk badly about me. That's the key. That's the key, baby. Old Gringold says, let me actually switch this over here. BLK stock, daily, weekly. Okay, a real stock. This is actually quite fun for me to look at. BlackRock. Something that actually has like earnings and shit. Okay. Let's see what the monthly looks like. I know you just asked about a daily, weekly, but I am curious to see. Okay, again, I mean, long term here, it's just something that you buy and hold, right? But in the short term, is this one more likely to go up to the upside or the downside? The downside. I'd be looking for this one to actually come back down and play to the 760 base and try for another bounce there. After that, it's just a range game, right? So you're looking at probably something like this, right? Bottom side of the range, top side of the range. Next move, very likely test the bottom side of the range. Does it hold or does it bounce? Probably at least tries for a bounce, and then just analyze, come back to it after that. But for now, next move down, look for a bounce somewhere between like 760 to 740. If you start to see it break below 760, okay, problems. Very likely comes down deep into the 600s. But long term, can't hate it. Can't hate this one at all long term, really. That is a pretty healthy chart long term, but in the short term, I'd be looking for a downside move. So it really just depends what time frame you're on, right? Anyways, moving on, we have Kovacs. He's looking at Brett versus the Derper. Okay, all right. Where do we go on this one? Maybe CoinEx? Based Brett. That's a great name. I didn't even mean to look at the monthly here, but the monthly does. I mean, the monthly actually reminds me of the fucking Balkan dwarf. It's actually quite it's actually quite strong in the monthly. Not as strong as a dwarf, but not bad. Anyways, if we go down to the timeframes that you asked about, the weekly and daily, again, higher low right here, if you can even call it that, not really, but it's continuation, man. I'd be looking for this one to retest all-time highs, probably spend some time consolidating around there, and then very likely break to new highs. I really do think that this next like 3 to 6 month segment, we're going to see an alt season. I actually do think that. Let me just go to a different chart just to see if there's any more history, because I think that would be helpful in this, but I am inclined to say that this one's, very new. Yeah, it's already making new highs on Bybit. Again, if we go to Bitcoin dominance, we called a high on this one. I think it was last week or the week before that, or really this past like month of April. I'm still sticking with that. I do think that we're going to see an alt season, but it's not going to be alt seasons like you've seen in the past. I do think it's going to be an alt season where you see the very, very strong altcoins. They're going to fucking kill it. And then everything else is just is going to be uninteresting comparatively. But the very strong altcoins, they're going to lift that tide up so that you see the Bitcoin dominance come down significantly. But it's going to be very deceptive because the majority of altcoins are going to be irrelevant and or just barely relevant. So you're not going to see much for them, but you're going to see a shit ton for, I think, the very, very strong ones. I think that things are really set up for something like that, especially now that you see Ethereum get an ETF. I do think that that's going to open up the doors, not necessarily in reality, but as far as speculation goes, for ETFs with other shit coins. And people are going to be like, oh shit, here's the rumor is this, and games are going to be played that way. Does that actually end up happening? I don't think so anytime soon, at least. Maybe like a shitcoin index fund, like ETF at some point, maybe. But I think that that's going to be the game that's played, just like back in 2017, where stocks would put blockchain in their name or talk about blockchain, and immediately their price would go up, even though they had no real intentions to, implement something like that. I think you're going to see those sort of games actually being played here. Chief says 0x0 AI. What the fuck is this? Okay. 0x0 AI smart contract auditor. Okay, I think you forgot like some sort of marketing term in there. It's actually not a bad chart for the history that we do have. This one goes back to beginning of 2023, so it was born at the beginning of a bull market, and it's done decently in a bull market. Okay, you would expect that, yes. Is it trying to put in a fucking weird looking altcoin higher low here on an extremely low cap, illiquid shitcoin? Probably yes. That would be my guess. Just looking at this one. I do think it's playing within this range. Basically here, lows, here, highs. Does it come? It kind of reminds me of another chart that we just looked at. I forget the name of it, but probably comes back down somewhere around range lows first. I'd be looking for a higher low there and then try another move to the upside, kind of wiggle its way through here. Something like, hey, give me my damn brush. Something like that, and maybe tries to move to the upside later. Really only major issues if you do see this one back down below about like 21 cents or so, 20 cents. Let's just round it off there. Let's see. Kovac says Ponky USD. Okay, there's a new one. Ponky USD. Bullish as fuck. Maybe the best chart that we've seen today, actually. And this is what I'm talking about. I don't know what the fuck. This is my first time ever looking at this thing ever. I have no idea what the hell this thing is. Never seen it before in my life. Didn't even know. I mean, it's been around for basically 5 months, 6 months or so. It's only gone up. We're going to see strong altcoins do shit like this. And this one's going to make new highs or continue to make new highs today. I don't trust indicators on shit like this that are this new, especially on a time frame like this. Maybe go down to a 4 hour. It is getting very extended here, yes. But I do think that this one is basically entering into some sort of a parabolic blow off. I shouldn't even say this, but I probably wouldn't be too surprised if we did see somewhere like around 80 cents. Let me see what an extension would look like there. Yeah. Next area of interest would be 64 cents, and then you got 86 cents. Those are obviously more long-term, and I do think you're going to see a big sell-off after one of those levels is hit. But for now, this is where you don't step in the way of like a moving freight train. You wait for like the very obvious signal of it topping out, and it's not there just yet, but it is really fucking extended. So yeah, Jesus Christ, what a chart. What a chart. Anyways, moving on now. Faraz wants to look at my PP coin. My PP coin. Sure, sir. Would you like me to call someone in for that action? PP coin looking really good. I looked at this the other day for someone, or maybe I was looking at it on stream. I forget. No, I was looking at it on stream, and we said this one looks fucking good. It looks good. It still looks. It kind of reminds me of the last one that we just looked at in the sense that you're in the parabolic phase of this thing, right? It's just surpassing the 2618. I do think that this one probably makes a move towards whatever the hell this number is right here. I still think that this red circle is where you see like the next top. I have the exact same thing to say about this one as I did the prior one. It's a moving freight train. Don't step on the fucking train tracks right now. I don't even know if you can short this one to begin with, but it very likely has another major upside move, and then after that, I'd be expecting some like disastrous sell-off. But for now, up, just up, just up. Just don't try to get fucking cute about it. It's a crazy looking chart. Yes, it's very extended. Yes, it's not going to take too much to get a major pullback on this one. When it does happen, it's going to be fast and relentless and take no prisoners. But I think for now, it kind of have to still be looking up. But it's deep. It's deep within this rally. Like, it's deep. I think you might even see a high in June. Anyways, Mythic OG says ALPH, daily, weekly. All right, let's see if this one even does have a daily and weekly. I don't recall this name. Alphium? No, we've seen this one before. Okay, so compare this one to the last few charts that we looked at. This one putting in a major top here already. And this is kind of what I'd be looking at on a lot of those other charts. Like, you're kind of like in this region right here. It's got one more push up. This one, I think, is topped out for a while. Is it getting ready for a bounce in the short term? Yes, but bounce is not the same thing as reversal. I think you're going to see a bounce off of this range low here. Bounce can come up significantly, even like to $2 or $2.50, but it's a down. This one is entering into downtrend phase right here. It is already in a downtrend on a daily. The weekly time frame is going to, once you start to see closures below 140, but I think you at least have one more bounce off of 140, and it's going to take us time here. But this one's done for a while to the upside. I don't think you're seeing any new all-time highs anytime soon. This, to me, is a long-term topping formation. We're even going to see monthly stochastic momentum turn on to the downside below 290, which this one is well below as of right now. So corrective at best, top for the cycle at worst. I do think you're going to see, I actually do think that you're going to see a move somewhere between 70 cents to $1 before this one's all said and done. But first, it's going to take some time. At least another bounce off this region right here. Give it some time. Long term, I do think it's probably topped out, or at least topped out for a very, very long time. Let's see. Round trip no more says Pendle USD long term need max abundant TP targets. TP toilet papers. Okay, Pendle. Pednal. Pedo coin. Again, another really fucking strong one. Really, really strong one right here. It's possibly even going to engulf the prior monthly shooting star dildo right here, which is a really, really strong signal. If it closes anywhere around here by end of month in the next 4.5 days, expect new highs in June. In fact, I'd even say you should very likely expect new highs just in general. Weekly stochastic momentum back onto the upside as long as you're above 575. It's more than $1 above that number. It's just put in the next seemingly weekly higher low right here in a series of higher lows, and it's been acting incredibly well since November of 2022. This is one of the best charts that we've seen again today. I do think that this one's going to make new highs from here. We can pull up an extension for this one just to see where the next areas of interest are. I don't know how much I'm going to trust it, but I do expect this one to probably hit double digits before this cycle is over. $12 is not out of the question. If things get like super, absolutely absurd, crazy, like just fucking the like maximum hopium. If you want maximum hopium targets, I'd say somewhere around $20. But I do think $12 or at least low double digits is possible and likely probably this year. The thing is that again, just like a lot of the other charts, when this one does reverse, I think it's gonna be very, very fast. But still, it looks like it looks to me like June is probably going to try for some more new highs before this one's ready to have like a major correction. What concerns me about this is that you really have not seen any like super major corrections since this rand began. I mean, you can kind of say around summer last year, but even then it was just vertical. Like there was no real, scary moves there. So interesting one to me. Yeah, I'd have to still be bullish on it. And again, it's very interesting to me to see a lot of the altcoins for today, because we have seen some very, very strong ones that are poised to make new highs sooner rather than later. So that actually does help out my my Bitcoin biases as well. All right, Amadeo Ciano, great name. Bitcoin dominance, 3-day. Please, bunghole basher. All right, the bunghole basher. You talk about this guy, my bunghole basher. My bunghole basher. All right, what chart were we on? There we go. Bitcoin dominance, 3-day. I don't necessarily know why you want to look at a 3-day here, but we can, I guess. I don't have anything different to say about the 3-day than I do about the weekly or monthly. It's a top. It's a top. The problem with looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart, however, and this is my opinion, is that I don't think Bitcoin dominance is a good gauge of the overall altcoin market. Yes, I do think that this one's topped. Yes, I do think it's going to go down. I think it's going to go down a lot, actually, from here. I think it's topped out for the cycle. But I don't think most altcoins are going to make new highs or significantly new highs. I think that what you're going to see is that the strong altcoins, some of the ones that we've seen today, are going to do extremely well. And they're going to basically be bringing this index down. But most altcoins are going to be just holding on for dear life, is what I think is going to happen. GRST says, Joning 737 on a 4-hour. Okay, this sounds like an airplane name. Joing 7. Okay, this is, oh wow, this is actually a crypto. All right, on a 4-hour. Okay, well, it's good news because there's really not much history here, but it's really difficult with these newer shitcoins. I mean, for the history that we do have, yeah, good. I mean, it generally goes up, generally puts in an uptrend. It's hard to trust. It's hard to trust tools on these sort of things. Could it come back down to range lows at whatever the hell this number is here? Maybe yes, maybe no. I'd give it the benefit of the doubt. If I usually looked at a chart like this, I'd say no. This one comes down. It's putting a top right now. But looking at an illiquid shitcoin, you got to give it a chance to range. And based off of what we looked at, priorly and the relatively higher term timeframes here, I think it's more likely to make new highs than reverse from here. In fact, I think if it came back down to half a cent or whatever that number is, that'd probably be an opportunity. This one very likely makes new highs this summer. Just hard to kind of gauge where those might be because it's not much to be going off of here. But you have to give the benefit of the doubt to something that looks like this. It's acted well, so this would be in the environment for it to continue to act well after ranging here for, I don't know, maybe it takes a month. I don't know. Anyways, Juma or Yuma, La Lepra, definitely Spanish. Tesla long term, maybe not Spanish. Tesla long term. Okay, NASDAQ long term. I'm going to guess that means like a monthly to you. Okay. As far as charts go, I do think that you have a weekly low in right here. And I do think that this one is going to try to the upside. Long term, however, if that's what you're really interested in, I don't think you're going to see anything super interesting on this chart for a long time. I think that you're going to see a range between low 300s and low in like mid 100s for a very long time. Yeah, that's really all that I say about that. Looking at the quarterly right here, you know, I do think it's going to bounce from here, but I think it's just going to test range highs. I think that there's nothing really interesting to be looking at on this one as long as you're below about 320. If you just have to break out above 320, okay, fair enough. You know, this one will very likely see new all-time highs from there. But for right now, sideways within that range, I think at best for a long time. Because remember, this is we just looked at a monthly and a quarterly. I mean, you know, each and every tick here takes 30 fucking days. It's going to take its time. This one, again, perspective. This one went on a phenomenal run, and this is not really like a shitcoin. This is like a real company, so probably takes its time to consolidate, I do expect. All right, Doquan, holy shit, it's him. Pups on the weekly and monthly. Okay. And let me guess, there's like 2 weeks of history. What do you fucking know? Not even 3 months. How do you expect me to do a monthly analysis when there's not even 3 months? You need like 10 years before that even becomes relevant. Okay, so compare this shitcoin with a lot of the other ones that we looked at. Terrible, fucking bad. Does not make new highs with the rest of the market. In fact, just makes new lows. Terrible. Just nothing worth looking at here. You know, if it does have a pump, it might have a pump out of nowhere. Who the fuck knows on that shit? At the end of the day, this is garbage. This is absolute fucking garbage compared to the other garbage that we looked at, but at least that garbage goes up. This one does not, given pretty much the perfect environment. It looks like it doesn't even barely trade. I mean, this can't even be right. This is so fucking bad. Yeah, and then I go to CoinX, CoinDerp, and it's even worse. Only goes down. Terrible. You'd have better luck just lighting your fire on money, and then throwing it down, and then throwing it down the toilet and pissing away on it, and then removing the bad energies. That's what you need, sir. You need some of this in your life for pups. In fact, you'd have better luck with this shit than that fucking garbage, man. This is just absolute fucking garbage. Just stop it. Just stop it, man. Just stop it. Stop it. It might have pumps out of nowhere, and if it does, you'll hate me for forever. Fair enough. I'm okay with that. When you have a market of unlimited choices or seemingly unlimited choices, you don't need to choose one of the worst ones. Anthony Michelle says AVAX versus Bitcoin. Okay, that's actually a very interesting and I would say wise request, just because you want to be looking at things versus Bitcoin. You might even want to be looking at things versus Ethereum right now too. Versus Bitcoin, terrible, bad, just awful. You know, does it dig in and try to put in a rally here? Maybe yes. Oh, we're getting Archangel Michael into this healing. Where did that come from?
May he be with you.
My favorite is when there's timestamps on these videos, and like the timestamp will be calling in Archangel Michael, focusing on snipping. It's really genius. Okay, let's actually give this one the benefit of the doubt. Is it potentially putting in a higher low here on the weekly? It did come down to the 618. It's trying to bounce from the 618. Kind of have to give it a chance to bounce. I actually would say, but below 5,000 satoshis or 4,900 satoshis on a weekly closing basis, just it's a downtrend, and you should respect the trend. And I have to be biased towards downside. I mean, this is really fucking ugly, but generally you want to see it. You're going to get a bounce off of a level like this. Just, I don't know how much to trust this one. Only bullish if you trade back above your December highs, and even then, I mean, I'm not a believer on this one. The way that I see it is monthly stochastic momentum is about to turn down. You just put another monthly lower high right here, retest the lows, probably make new lows. That's the way I would look at it. Anyways, Brew City Gardener says Theta USD. Thanks from an OG subscriber. I haven't seen your name here before, ma'am, so you should speak up more. But yeah, good to see the OG still around. I still recognize all the OG's names. 6 years. It's been over 6 years now. I still recognize everyone's fucking name who's been consistently commenting here, or just showing their face. But anyways, back on topic. Okay, so daily, weekly. Okay, I'm on a monthly right now. I have the same thing to say about this as a lot of the other weaker shit coins, right? It's had perfect market environment since 2023. It's done nothing really. Nowhere near prior highs. I mean, and here's the thing. This is on log scale. It's trading at 2.25 right now. Its prior all-time highs was 12. I mean, it's more than a 5x from where it was here. It's had the perfect environment. It's just bad. That would be my general idea here. It's just, why choose something like this when there are so many better, faster horses out there? You know, maybe it's just past market cycle, like reminiscences, or what's what I'm looking for, nostalgia that people have for these things. But even on the daily, I think that you're putting in a top right here and you're going to come back down to range lows. Now, does it eventually break this overall range up to the upside? Maybe yes, but it's going to be ranging here for, you know, for at least a little bit longer. Anywhere below 180 and you have big fucking problems. I am kind of more biased towards this one, trying an upside move, but just pound for pound it's just not worth your attention in my opinion. Then again, I don't know your specific situation, so maybe I shouldn't be saying something like that. But if I had to call it right now, daily time frame, it's very likely to come back down to range lows, probably another bounce from those range lows, and then you get to play the range game. Are we going to break to the upside or the downside? It's no real way to know. Just long term, what I can say is that this thing is weak, and I don't see any. Yeah, I don't see how this one's going to outpace anything else in this market. If you're thinking like, you know, versus other things that you could be in, opportunity costs. You know, probably does break this range to the upside, to be fair. Probably does, and probably moves this way back up to like $5. But I think that's just going to be a less interesting chart than most things. Nishan, or is it Nish Ant Abraham? Nishan Tabor T Abraham. Maybe it's Nishan T Abraham. Do closes caused by macro news invalidate trades? Do closes caused by macro news invalidate trades? No. I don't understand. I don't understand. This. See, these words, these words together are like fucking up my brain. Do closes caused by macro news invalidate trades? Yes, no. Okay, so what I think you're saying is, if a macro news event happens, okay, first off, define that, because most people can't even define that properly. What a real macro news event would be like something tangible, like interest rates changing, okay, or like a price to earnings ratio, or like an earnings report. Okay, Bitcoin has none of these things, obviously. So would that invalidate the closure of a time frame that happens during that event? Usually those events don't happen exactly on the closing second. So that's why we use closures, because by the end of a trading period, whether that be an hourly or daily or 5 minute, that's typically when the algos bring things back to where they actually want to close price out at. I mean, it's the interim of that, you know, the intra space of that time frame, like between the time frame starting and the time frame ending, where all sorts of crazy weird shit happens. And that's usually when your news event comes out, and then price goes up and down and right around. But then by the closure, it kind of calms down. And if you actually put things on a line chart, it probably makes a lot more sense in those cases. So I'd say generally no, especially the higher term time frame that you do go as well. Anyways, you want to look at GFAL. What the fuck is this? Games for a living. All right. Sir. Fucking send this one back to the shitcoin grave that it just came out of. This is absolute garbage. Terrible, man. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. This one needs some bad energy healing over here. All right, come on, Michael. Save them. We got a coin on life support. We got these gamers. They're failing, man. They're not living. Games for a living. Games for death. They're fucked. They're fucked. Amadeo Ciano says, USDT-D weekly, please. Okay, so it's some tether dominance. I haven't looked at this in a while. Interesting. Okay, so the general idea would be that if tether dominance goes down, cryptos, Bitcoin, whatever goes up. You know, tether dominance going down, people getting out of tether. If they get out of tether, are they going back to US dollar? Probably not. They're probably going into another crypto. It's just easier to make that exchange there. Is that true? Kind of.
Negativity,
wait.
Impurities, or bad vibes to leave your space.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
You are no longer welcome.
Get those bad vibes out of my GFAL coin. I do think it's going to retest these lows probably. I think it's probably going to bounce from those lows as well. And then yes, you have a downtrend here, but the problem is that it's not going to take too much to get like a greater bounce from that region. So I don't really have a strong opinion on this, to be honest. I think it's, as always, going to be better to look at whatever coin you're most interested in versus the dollar or tether or whatever. If you just look at tether dominance, I'm not seeing anything that's super obvious here. The only obvious thing is that, yeah, it probably comes back down to retest those lows, but it's very likely to bounce from those lows. I don't think it's a significant move. Probably not going to, nothing to make like long-term decisions off of. If I'm looking at the quarterly, okay, down, but it's rough on these sort of things. 6 month, it's in a bouncy area, but long-term, this is a top, yes.
I will now proceed. Out.
I just think it's better to be looking at whatever your favorite shitcoin is versus, well, the dollar or whatever asset you want to accumulate. Okay, Michael, enough. Michael Berger, Gala BTC, weekly daily. Sure, man. Okay, so this one, okay, so now we're looking at some versus Bitcoin. I'm going to guess it's not going to be good. And it's certainly not fucking good. This one needs some energy healing for fucking sure. This one is absolute fucking garbage for sure. This one is probably never going to test those prior all-time highs for sure. And you'd be lucky to hold this current range low here for the next year. Look, this is just garbage. Garbage. This is the exact chart that you do not want to be in. This is the exact chart that you do not want to be in. Well, everything in their mother was rallying to new all-time highs in the past year and a half. This thing went down. Terrible sign. Might it get a bounce at some point in this market cycle? Yes. And it's going to bounce up like 20% in a day. And you're going to be like, Krown, fuck you. You were wrong. You idiot. I hope you die. And I hope you have no more abundances in your life. And you're going to be right for like a day or a week. And then after that, it's probably going to do the exact same thing that it does on all these potential, you know, tries for upside moves. It gives them up immediately whenever it has an option two. Terrible, fucking terrible, bad, among the worst charts that we've seen today, for fucking sure. Anthony Michael says, TAI USD on MEXC, okay.
Potential bad spirits.
And
out of your home and
okay, this is, I'm maybe there's a chart that has more gate IO. My gate coins. Okay, I don't know if that's the right one, so I'm just going to go with this one because it's the exact right ticker. Okay, very new chart. Very new chart. 4 hour. Okay, you did see actually on MEXC. Okay, so it must be this one then. A very weird chart. Okay, I do want to see. Yeah, garbage. Just fucking garbage, man. Okay, whoa. Oh, yeah, okay. I see what's going on here. I don't understand what happened right here. Whatever the fuck that is, I don't think it's a good sign. It filled the gap. I don't know if you trust gaps on MEXC because it's 24/7 market. If I'm just looking at this chart with my naked eye, I say, yeah, this one very likely comes back down. Below 13 cents, I'd say that is that is confirmed. And you should see this one retest, 5 cent lows or 7 cent region. in the weeks to follow. But I don't trust a chart like this. If we go over to Bybit, it looks a lot better here. But that's not the one that you asked for, so I don't know if this is the correct one. So if I'm just looking at the prior one, I'm more inclined to say that this one is a high here, but something weird's going on there, and I certainly don't feel confident on that. So I do want to say that at the outset because, well, I mean, should just be honest with that. Anyways, Kovacs says Andy versus wrapped Ethereum. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay. Better. It's certainly better than the last one we looked at. Certainly better than a lot of the ones that we looked at. Not in the best category for today, but it's okay. Okay, so in this one, it has already tested those prior highs. Does it pull back from here? Probably yes in the shorter term timeframes. I do think, however, that something like this is in the correct market environment where it's probably going to make new all-time highs in June. Can we project those highs? Fuck no. There is barely any history here. But if I had to guess, short term, might spike in this area a few more times, probably consolidate sideways, and then, sometime in June probably makes new all-time highs. Really only problems on this one if you come back down below whatever this 300 butyrols number is over here. Until then, more likely to try to the upside after a sideways consolidation. Sean Shepard says Arrow USD. Okay. AERO. All right. I guess we go to Qcoin for shitcoins nowadays. How things have changed. Terrible, fucking terrible, awful, god awful, terrible, just bad. Don't put this garbage shit in front of my face. Aerodrome Finance. Isn't that... God, this market's so fucking ridiculous. This market is retardio incarnate. This is the same garbage pink slip shit that the Wolf of Wall Street was shilling in the movie. Aerodrome. Like they barely even changed the name. They're like, no one's gonna figure this one out. Aerodrome. Look, the next move is probably to the upside, actually. Probably retest these highs from May. Long term, don't like it. I actually do think it's going to try for some upside from here. Maybe even back up to like 150. But it is it's Aerodime. And this actually does look like a reversal, to be fair. Yeah, actually to be fair, back above 140, you kind of have to be somewhat bullish on this thing for a move close to $2, but sounds like a scam to me. That's just my opinion. TAO on BitSensor says Mr. Michael Lonkar. All right. Symbol TAO. Okay. On Binance, another just uninteresting chart. While everything else in their mother was making new all-time highs, this thing just goes... Well, I mean, it's only been around since April, to be fair, but if I had to call it right here, next move down, daily stochastic momentum turning to the downside as long as this one below 457, which it's about $20 below as of right now. So assuming that it remains a day here, and especially if it trades below Sunday's low, I'd say this is your next lower high in a series of lower highs, and this one probably comes back down to like 360, 370-ish region over time. But it's kind of at a critical junction here because it does maybe have a higher low in. And if it does have a higher low in, you would not expect a lower than Sunday's low. So that would be my big failure point for this one. Below Sunday's low, fuck it. Yeah, above Sunday's low, maybe some hopium for a move back up towards 500 plus. But yeah, it's one of those. Amadeo Ciano says Femex token. Okay, okay, so the ticker is PT. Okay, got it. Okay, this is a new one for me. I've never seen this. Okay, so Femex got their own shitcoin, and it goes up. What do you know? Have to be bullish on this. Just general up compared to what we just looked at, which was general down. But what time frame? Okay, 4-hour time frame. It's a weird looking chart, as are a lot of these low liquidity shitcoins. But if I had to call it, you have to kind of be looking for new highs here, coming into June. Only way that I get bearish on this one is back down below $1, below $1. Okay, yeah, bearish. But until then, let the trend be your friend. And yeah, as long as it's above about $1 or $1.05, I would favor the upside. No real areas of interest to the upside or anything like that. It's just too new, but yeah, respect the trend. Nine Breaker says Normie USD on the daily. Sure. All right. Okay. This is a new type of shitcoin, I think. We need to cleanse our energy after that highly esteemed piece of technology.
Your house and space has now been cleansed and purified with the highest.
He read my fucking mind. He really is a genius.
Protection.
How did that happen?
I will now use some sacred Reiki symbols to really seal off and to protect your space.
He said it, not me. Nikki Page says, no abundance healing can fix that shitcoin. Nikki, you say that, but I'll tell you this. Our friend Michael over here, he does these streams. He does these live streams for like hours. Of it's actually really impressive, to be honest with you. So I think maybe after like 2 full weeks of watching this, they might be able to get a little bit of a bounce. 2% bounce. Moi moi. The collective says Shib. All right. This guy's the best. He's the best. I have actually watched so much of his shit recently. It's ridiculous. Like this is how guys like that take over. Like I just start watching it and I don't even know why. Shib. Okay. All right. Shiba Inu does look to me like it's trying to put in a higher low here. So I would respect it as long as it's above whatever the hell the line of destiny is right there.
Space and home is now cleansed, purified.
Cleanse and purify.
Negative energies. So it is.
God, I love that laugh. All right, enough, sir, enough. We got some important magic internet money to get to over here. We can't be having no healing. Shib. Okay. Overall a trading range, but I actually do think that this one is trying to put in a higher low here. Daily trading range lows, basically like 20,000, whatever the fucking number that is. I actually would give it the benefit of the doubt here. I actually do think this one is going to try to put in a higher low here. But it's going to take its time, I suspect. However, I'll give you a very obvious region where it'll become bearish, and that is, well, actually we just said below 20,000. Below 20,000 on a higher term time frame closing basis, daily no less. I'd expect this whole rally to be just unraveled, and you see this one come back down to whatever the space is over here, somewhere around there, if that were to happen. But until then, I would treat this as a higher low. It's kind of, I would say it's kind of like par for the course of an average shitcoin. Certainly not on the strong side. Not necessarily on the weak side as well, but you know, pound for pound, the strong ones will significantly outgain something like this. I mean, they're already making new all-time highs, and I don't really like moves like this where it's just vertical for 2 weeks and then after that, Anyways, Amadeo Ciano is back. He says AGIX USD on the weekly. Time to get some Barra bungholes. Let's see. I know that this is a shitcoin from many cycles past, I believe. I recognize this name. This one goes back to 2021 here, but I know that I've seen this name from like 2017. Anyways, for the history that we do have here, actually pretty good. It rallied when the rest of the market rallied. It made new highs according to this chart, which should be the all-time history for this one. You know, is it putting it at a top here, I think is your question. Time to get some Barra bungholes. I think, look, my rule is trend first. And in this case, the trend is obviously to the upside. And as long as you're above whatever, 70 cents, I think you treat this as your next potential high or low. Below 70 cents on a weekly, okay, yeah, unravel it. But for now, give it the benefit of the doubt. On a daily, however, lower term timeframes, I do think it's poised to come back down here to somewhere around those range lows, whether that's, you know, 85 cents or maybe even all the way down to 70 cents. I do think next move is down, but I'd be looking for a bounce there first. I don't really get bearish on this one until you're below this region. So that would be my analysis for that one. Michael Longcar says SEI longer term daily weekly. Okay, I remember this one was one of the more strong shitcoins for this cycle. By the way, I have to be aware of my own time because I need to leave in about 15 to 20 minutes here. So I do see that there's still a lot of comments. I'm gonna get through as many as I can, but if in 20 minutes we haven't gone through all of them, then that just is what it is. So leave a comment at your own peril. I don't know if I'll be able to get to it. We'll get to as many as we can in the next 20 minutes. All right, SEI, kind of similar to the last chart. I treat it as trying to put in a higher low here at 45 cents first. I imagine this probably matches up with a major fib. Yeah, the 382. So I give it a chance to bounce here first. If it starts to lose 45 cents on a weekly closing basis, get ready for the big move down to 30 or 25 cents. But until then, give it a chance here. It's going to take a while, I do think. And I do think, just like a lot of the other ones, the next short-term move is probably back onto the downside of the range, 50 cents or so. I don't know if that's a major concern to you or not, but I'd give it a chance here first. Really only below 45 cents on a weekly closing basis. That is where the line in the sand is. As long as it's above there, give it an opportunity. I do think it's going to be rather slow here because it is kind of still in an overall consolidation. There's nothing really interesting to the upside as long as you're below like 90 cents, right? But you're about to see weekly stochastic momentum turn back onto the upside above 59 cents. Oh, well, it's actually below that right now. So yeah, probably digs out these lows a few more times. You just don't want to see it fall below them. And then you'll naturally see things start to turn back up again and likely at least get a bounce from there. Mythic OG says, Achi on Sol. Okay. It's like really going deep into the shitcoin drawer here, but we're doing shitcoin versus just shitcoin now. Okay. Not bad, at least for the history that we do have. Short term, has it found a high? Probably yes. 4 hour time frame. Yeah, I do think you're going to be trading a bit of sideways and downside here with bounces along the way. But I'd be looking for higher lows at 44, 45 region, whatever the fuck number that is, or correlates to. SAMs, we'll call them, because it's Solana's. But weekly, I do think that this one will make new all-time highs in June. It's just how far down does it come first? And of course, if it does come down below like 35-ish, then I'd get quite bearish on it. But I don't think that's what's happening here. I think this one makes new highs first. Anyways, Logan says, HNT, this bull run, please. What the fuck does that even mean? This bull run? No, you must figure out the next one, or the bear market lows. There's no way to do that. Just so you know, because there are going to be people out there who probably do try to tell you. There's no way to fucking know that. Unless you literally have a crystal ball, or you have crystals, like my man Michael here. Yes, that's him. That's him. As far as this one goes, terrible. Just god-awful. Terrible, terrible, terrible. This bull run. It's had a fucking bull run since the beginning of 2023. It's done fuck shit all. Terrible, man. Terrible. Terrible. Did it even reclaim the 50%? Yeah, it actually did trade it around there and then rejected from it, but not impressive. I would be looking for this one to come all the way back down. Look, below $7, which this one's well below $7. Monthly momentum turns onto the downside. I'd be bearish as long as that condition is met. Does it try for another bounce here at $4? Maybe yes. But any bounce that fails to reclaim $7 in the next month or two, very, very bearish. Very likely coming back down to $2-3, and it's just garbage. Terrible garbage here. Shitcoin assets don't really get a bull run, unfortunately. Agasta says, Solana versus Ethereum, please, dear sir. Okay, it's a very polite way of asking, but let's see. Okay, a high again, or not again, because we haven't seen this one at least in a very long time. Retesting those per all-time highs, very common to play out a pullback from there, and that's what we're getting right now. I do think that this one comes down a little bit more before it's all said and done. The question is, does it set in a higher low or not? Any sort of a higher low above this area right here, which is 32, 3.2 butyrols, and I'd actually be looking for this one to make a big run to the upside from there. However, if you do lose this low, I would consider this whole area right here confirmed as actually a market cycle top, and you see this one come back down at least to the 50% level here, maybe lower than that. So it's very, very critical how far down this current move does come. I do think that there will be some more short-term downside here, probably at least to this level right here. The question is, does it make a new low or not? Like, how is the bounce off of that region? If the bounce fails, Okay, like that is a real major high there. Just looking at the boats in the in the sea out there. So what are these people doing? It's Monday. Anyways, CMAO says link BTC. Okay, some more Bitcoin pairings. Let's see how this one's doing. All right, on Binance. This is one that I actually used to watch myself as well, but kind of gave up on it on this run to $20 here. Anyways, okay, sorry, I did versus the dollar. Let's go to Bitcoin. Apologies on that. That was my bad. Bad, just bad, man. Again, this is on the log scale. Really hasn't done shit since 2020. So during the 2021 cycle, it did not make new highs. While everything else was making new highs, it's only been in a downtrend since then on the weekly time frame, and I'm guessing on the monthly as well. Yes, indeed. Is it likely to bounce from this current region? Actually, yes. Can very easily bounce back up to 3,100 Satoshis, but I don't think that this downtrend is reversing it, at least as long as this thing is below 4,700 Satoshis. It's a long-term downtrend, and any sort of a bounce is a sell. And I do think that it can bounce rather significantly, again, maybe somewhere around here on this current move. But just be looking for another lower high, man. Just not good. Not good. Especially the higher term time frame we go, the worse it starts to look. So it's really all that I have to say about something like this. It's had a lot of chances. Well, I do think it's going to bounce here. Just keep your eyes on the bounce. If it fails to reclaim, what was it, 46 or 4,700 Satoshis, just get ready for more down, or at least more sideways. Just nothing interesting is my main point. Anthony Michelle says, sir, focus low. Is this a... I don't know. I don't... Is this a ticker? My brain is like so fucked up. It's like, is that a ticker? Is that a crypto asset? I don't know what you're referring to, sir. But well, hopefully we can figure it out before time's up here. Like I said, I got about 15 minutes now. All right. Ricardo Barreto, what's up, man? PP coin, please, sir. Not PP. Big difference between them two frogs. Okay. Well, I'll bite. PP coin on MEXC. I mean, both of them. Like the regular PP is also pretty good too. This one, weird looking new altcoin chart. The higher term time frame I go, the more and more likely I would be looking for this one to just generally make new highs in June. The question is, what are they doing in the more short term? And I'm inclined to say it actually does trade to the north side from here as well, like probably back around $6. There's just not much history to be going off of here. Kind of a difficult one. But if I had to call it, like upper fives, low six, and then that likely sets it up for continuation into June. Just no real areas of interest to be made on something like this. Too new, way too new. But acting well, which is a good sign overall. All right, Dahlia, the Golden Doodle. Oh, Golden Doodles are nice. A cash network, AKT on the daily. Did we look at this one earlier or not? For some reason or did I go to the right one here? Osmosis. No, I meant to go to this one. A really good chart here long term. Again, this would be an example of one of the stronger altcoins, but in the short term, does it come down here after finding a high? Yes, I do think so. I do think that you're going to see a move probably back down around like 4.5, 420-ish region, maybe even $4, but these are all higher lows here. So, it's hit new all-time highs. From those new all-time highs, I'd expect a consolidation, and in this case, just hit range highs. So now it's going to come down and find the range lows or find a higher low. But anything above your April lows is good long term. Just want to see it put in a higher low somewhere around here. Anywhere around $4 would look good for another try to the upside long term. And of course, if it does actually take out your April lows bearish, I don't think that's what's happening here, but that would be my condition for being bearish, below about 290-ish. And at that point, expect big moves to the downside, like below $2 and maybe more. All right. Okay, we got that. GTR Bean says, how's Proppy look? Okay. I don't know. I've never seen this or heard of this one in my life. It's on some very questionable exchanges here already, so I'm just gonna roll with this one. For the history that we do have, did go up decently. Weekly to me looks like a top. It's always difficult with these like very illiquid shitcoins because it doesn't really take too much to get a reversal here. But I'd be looking for this one to come down closer to like 190 Try for a bounce there. It's really hard to, it's really fucking hard on these shit coins. You know, ideally for the boo laws, you see a bounce around the range lows, and then it just continues sideways for a while, reclaims like 330, and then up again. But I'm more inclined to say it comes down here, bounces, puts another lower high, and then fails. But yeah, that would be my big line in the sand. Below 180, big problems. As long as you're above 180, boo laws still have the ball in their court, still got trend on their side, and you should be expecting a bounce there. Just how high does that bounce get? Does it get back above like 3.25? Okay, ready for new highs. All right, Michael Longcar says Sol long term, daily, weekly, please. Sure. Yeah, please do not send any more super chats. In fact, I'm actually going to pin that for Nikki. Thank you, Nikki. Just caught that one out of the side of my eye. Okay. Where was I? Yes, Solana. All right. I already have that on my list. My voice is starting to leave me as well. Need some water here. Now I got about 10 minutes. There we go. Okay, much better. All right, Solana. Let's go to you're looking longer term, daily, weekly. Okay. So as far as Solana goes, kind of similar to some of the other shitcoins that we've seen today. You know, it's basically retested per all-time highs. We expect a sideways consolidation around those per all-time highs. It's completely fine, completely normal. We already have the range lows. It's about 125 to 130. Let's just call it 130. And we have the range highs as well, which is about 200 or just above 200. Now, short term, we are seeing weekly stochastic momentum turn back up to the upside. I would not trust this one. Then again, it actually does have a few things going for it, doesn't it? You do have this nice trendline regression from the last few lows. That was your current December lows here. That was your September lows right here, and maybe lows right here as well. I am a lot more inclined to say, if we get rid of this LARP line, you'd see something like this, where it comes back down to those ranges, sets in a slightly higher low, and then trades back above this high. But I would, like, my main message here is that as long as it's above about 130, I would treat it long-term good, and long-term like it's gonna make new all-time highs, with 400 plus as areas of interest long-term. But it all hinges upon 130. Below 130, no. Probably a cycle high if you do see that happen. I think it's, again, a lot less likely, but you always need to have those areas marked off, because if it does happen, well, that's where things change around, at least in the way they look at things. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Tails of Crypto says, check Tron, appreciate all the daily valid info. I appreciate that, man. I don't know if you're gonna like me after we look at Tron, though. That's the problem. Not as bad as what I was expecting, actually. It's better than a good handful of most shitcoins, to be honest with you. I do think that you're putting a high right here. And I do think that this one is poised to come lower, probably back down below 10 cents. Let's see. No time frames given always makes it difficult. But you do have to respect the trend, right? If we put this on a line chart, that is an uptrend. And yes, the next move very likely does come down, but have to be on higher low watch, right? So yeah, and this is the full history of it back to October of 2017. So very, very interesting. I was not expecting to see this, actually. I was expecting to see something much more dastardly, like in alignment with most shitcoins, which actually, to be fair, this one, better than most. It is basically at new all-time highs. Yeah. Have to respect it. Have to actually respect it. I do think it's getting ready for a bounce somewhere around like just under 11 cents. And then give it some time to go sideways. But again, where would I get very, very bearish on this one? Okay, let's see. Below about 7.5 cents on a monthly closing basis. That'd be quite bearish. Until then, you got the trend on your side. Respect it is my rule. Astrological Ether says TIA 4-hour and long term. Okay, don't know what that means to you, but I'm just gonna make up a daily or a weekly. Not good here, man. Again, while most things in this market have been making new all-time highs, this thing has been selling off from its all-time highs. It's kind of like an early first mover, it looks like. Now just barely clinging onto the lows. I do expect that this one is going to continue to range on these lows here. I don't know when I charted this one last, but I'd actually keep this line here. Then again, I mean, if you just want like the general range, be something like this. As long as it's within this range, long-term bearish actually. But more likely to bounce off of this range low another time or two. So, you know, what does that end up looking like? Maybe does something like this, boom, tries for a rally, fails on another lower high, does something like this, and then breaks down later. Really, the only way that I get bullish on this thing is if you get back above 12 and a quarter. Guys, I'm going to warn you again, not warn you, that sounds wrong, but I can't, I don't have enough time to get through all the super chats for today. I have about another 5 minutes, maybe a little bit more than that if I really eke things out here, but I do have some appointments to get to. I appreciate the super chats, of course, but at the same time, it's highly unlikely I'm going to be able to get to them. All right, Arcane Vitality says APU versus wrapped Ethereum. Okay. Probably just wasting more time by explaining that as well. All right, let's see how many we can do. Ready for a bounce. Long term, I mean, again, you have to respect the trend here. Bounce can very easily come back up to this region right here. Daily stochastic momentum about to turn back up. It's one ready to make new highs. That I wouldn't necessarily say. If I was looking at any other chart with a lot of history, I'd say, no, this one's got a high end for a while. I'm a lot less confident on something that is this new. I think it's going to bounce. And if you see another lower high and rejection, like a little bit around this region right here, that's where I'd say, yeah, this one's put in a high for a long time, but have to respect it first, even though it doesn't have much to be going off of. Yeah, if I just looked at this, I would say this is a high. Get ready to come back down to like 700, whatever the fuck. Thinking about the name, he's just going for it. But again, I can't promise you, man. Okay. Amadeo Ciano says doggy versus Bitcoin quarterly. Okay, this is actually going to be very interesting because these higher term time frames for these very long running shitcoins are going to be quite telling, I suspect. So quarterly, interesting. It does put in macro higher lows, or at least has thus far. You know, wasn't necessarily expecting that. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyways, let's go down to a weekly just to see. Mostly just ranges, kind of gets pumped out of nowhere and then consolidates for a very, very long time. I think that's exactly what you're getting right here. I think that you do have your next sort of quarterly higher low in at 154, but as you've seen in these past cycles, like it can take a long time to really shake itself off. So wouldn't be surprised to see it do something like this and blah, 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 blah. But that can take a very, 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 very long time. But I'd actually treat it as long-term bullish as long as you're above the lows that were put in March of this year, actually. Below those March lows, okay, yeah, send it back down to where you were at like 5 years ago. But for now, yeah, give it a little bit of respect. Just probably gonna take a shit ton of time, man. Okay. All right, I'm gonna try to get to some of the other ones that I see here. I'm just scrolling up to see where, holy shit, there's a lot of, I really do apologize. You know, I do see that there's a lot of chats here. I'm gonna get to as many as I can in the next 5 minutes. All right, Truco Production says INJ on the weekly. I'm already going to warn you though, there's no way I'm getting through all of these, man. It's just, you know, I feel bad because I understand like for some people, you know, it can be like a big deal. And so, you know, you feel like you owe people something like that. But at the same time, I have to be respectful of my own time. Anyways, for INJ, ranging on the lows here, not bullish until you're back above $30, not necessarily like full on bearish as long as you're above $21. I'd be expecting it to kind of play within that range for a little bit of time. I am biased, however, towards an upside resolution just based off a trend here. But those would be my two areas of interest. And when it does, and if it loses that range low, I'd be looking for a move back down to like 13, $14, maybe worse. Let's see. Astrological Ether says SEI4. I think we just did that one earlier, so we can probably scoot through that one. Christopher Brignola says, Krown, love the stream. Thanks, man. L Wolf hourly. Okay. On MEXC. Man, thank you for specifying the chart and time frame and exchange. Hourly. Okay, now I understand why you said an hourly, because it's literally been around for about a week. I don't know, man. On something like this, it's just too new, really. If I had to call it, I'd say still respect the trend. Does it come down short term and try for another higher low somewhere around here? Maybe yes. I don't have strong opinions on this. It's way too new. I don't really have any major opinions on this. Just respect the trend until proven otherwise. Below this low here, That's when things change. Until then, I'd be looking for a pullback, probably to form another higher low. But man, do I trust these sort of shitcoins? Not really. Joshua Powell Harris says Metis UST. Okay, I don't think we've done this one today. Maybe we have. On the daily and 4 hour. Okay, let's go to a daily. Long term, it's okay. Certainly not in the terrible shitcoin list. Better than par. Looks like we have another weekly higher low right here. So I'd respect that until proven otherwise. Doesn't mean that I can't come back down around there. It's just we wouldn't expect any lower below about 52, 53 bucks on a higher term time frame closing base. Below, as long as it's above there, we'd be expecting this to formulate its next higher low and try back onto the upside. But below here, very, very bearish. Very likely coming back down, below 30 bucks. But I'd give it a chance. It's probably going to take its time going sideways within this range between about 90 bucks versus 50 bucks. And anything between there, long term is going to be bullish, but it can take a long time. Anyways, moving on. Sergeant Barnacle says OKEG. Okay. It's a new one as well. A lot of new ones today, actually. So if I was just looking at any other thing on a weekly, I'd say, yeah, that's a topping. That is a topping formation right there. If you look at a daily, I'd say the same thing actually as well. Let's see, where would the pullback areas of interest be? Whatever this number is right here. 2620 butyrols, and if things get really crazy, somewhere down around here. But I'd be looking for bounces around there. And if it is going to continue to be bullish, you'd be expecting higher lows there. Below, especially this one, send it back down to hell. Send it back down to hell. All right, one more sip of this water, then we'll do like maybe 2 more of these, and then I really do have to go. All right, Jonathan, G-O-I, hopefully I'm not butchering that too much. Daily time frame and weekly time frame for Jasmy USD. Okay, Jasmy. This one sounds legit. Okay, good. Actually, really good on the daily. Yeah, daily's breakout. I'd be looking for this one to trade back up towards 30, or sorry, not 37, but 3.7 cents. Really only bearish on this one if you trade below your April lows. Until then, respect the breakout. The monthly is a bullish engulfing dildo. I'd be expecting it to trade somewhere back around these highs over here. Not super bad in the more immediate term. Long term, yeah, not great. Michael Berger says Elsa Bag Fund, nice. Yuma La Lepra says Pith USD, okay. Almost did a full round trip. Just had massive unlock. Next likely retrace. PYT. Okay, I think we'll end on this one though. All right. You don't need to buy garbage like this, man. There are infinite possibilities in this market. You don't need to buy bullshit like this. Do I think it's going to try for a bounce off this low again, like 40 cents? Probably yes. Do I think that is the low? No, this is garbage. I mean, it could bounce up a lot even towards like 50 or 60 cents and still be long-term bearish. I respect this as the next major macro high, most likely. Monthly, atrocious, man, atrocious. So while I do think it's basically in a bouncy region, that bounce is very likely to fail. Very, very likely to fail. All right, Martin Hunt, last one. Just for Martin Hunt, JUP. This is actually one that I watched myself. I made a video on it a very long time ago when it was like 50 or 60 cents. Was pulled up over here. So you're looking at a daily and weekly. This one had a really good run, really good run in March. And since then, been consolidating. I do think you found your range highs here. I do think you found your range lows here. I do think you are probably going to come back down somewhere close to those range lows. For the Boolaw's sake, you want to see a higher low there. Anywhere above 90 cents would look good. Long term, I do think that this one continues to the upside, just personal opinion. But I think that this current range can take a while to resolve itself. So, don't be surprised if you see it fill out this space for another month, maybe 2 months. But yeah, back above 130, very, very bullish on a daily closing basis. Below 85 cents, very, very bearish. I'm inclined, however, like I said, towards an upside resolution. And I think that is a good place for me to be leaving off. I need to get to my next damn appointment. It's a busy Monday morning, actually, for a holiday. But it's been an absolute pleasure as usual. I really, really love doing these live streams. I think we're going to be doing them more often now. Just need to find a bit of time for them. Hopefully we do another one on this Thursday with some new price action. But yeah, it's actually really enlightening and helpful for myself because I get to look at all these shitcoins and, if you generally see strong shitcoins across the board or, ones that are more poised for upside than downside, it's actually a pretty good indication of where the general market's going to go. So adds some additional color for myself, which is really, really useful. So I appreciate that. Thank you for that. And thank you for joining in. It's been, like I said, an absolute pleasure. We'll be back on tomorrow with some regular video action and then maybe another live stream on Thursday. Again, there is a sale going on for the next week for Memorial Day with the code abundance in all capitals for all of the products and services. I'll have more about that a little bit later. But for now, that'll do it. And I want to wish everyone well. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully next time.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, XR, pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it, build it, try it, bend it, fork it, hype it, pump it, dump it, rinse, repeat, but quick relocate, pause it, list it, send it, burn it, pump it, hack it, quick rename it.